Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is your latest news updates. Let's get into it already. A lot to talk about, including some transfer news. Could we actually end up signing David De Gea? Yes, there's rumors on that. Not even rumors, some news on that. I will also be talking about what has had to say about Smith Rowe. Will he be staying at the end of the season or not? The latest on Saka's injury, and also a bit more transfer news in terms of Zubimendi and Gyokeres, and another striker that we've been linked to. But let's start with the David De Gea one. Like, this is crazy. Like, from right off the bat, do I think it would happen De Gea to Arsenal? The chances of it happening, very minimal. I'll tell you why. So this is the news that has come out today on regarding David De Gea, obviously former Manchester United goalkeeper. David De Gea could move, Arsenal could move for former Man United keeper David De Gea as a replacement for Aaron Ramsdale. This is according to Court Offside. Now, first of all, I'm very surprised that David De Gea has not had a team the entire season. Like, when he left Man United, I thought, listen, there's a big chance he could join Real Madrid here. But they went and got Kepa instead from Chelsea. And then I was like, listen, it doesn't matter. Bayern Munich, Neuer is out injured. Bayern Munich will definitely go for him. Bayern Munich also didn't go for him. So I was thinking maybe he'll go to another club like a Bilbao, Atletico Madrid, or someone like that. But he's actually remained without a club the entire season. Newcastle were also linked to him at some stage. There was even rumors about him potentially going back to Man United, but that didn't come to fruition. So he's still without a club. Now, does it make sense for Arsenal to get him as a backup goalkeeper for Raya? Two Spanish goalkeepers who've worked together before. Would it be good, like, to have those two there? Obviously, David De Gea has played in the Premier League for a lot of years. He played in the Premier League for more than a decade. Will he be of help to David Raya and all that? It could. But what was the main reason that Man United, you'd say, not give David De Gea a new contract? They wanted Onana for what reason? Kicking the ball. So it doesn't really make sense that it makes sense that Arsenal go for a second choice goalkeeper who's free and wouldn't cost anything. And if we can agree to like 150,000 a week, that is fine. That makes sense in terms of him being cheap and us going to, go for more expensive players in other positions, and also worrying about FFP. That makes sense. But the other side of that is the kicking. There is no way Man United would get rid of a goalkeeper who doesn't kick. Or he's not great at kicking. Last season he was one of the most terrible goalkeepers at kicking. Very, very good at saving, but kicking, no. So does it really make sense that Arteta would go for a goalkeeper who can't kick the ball? I don't think so. I really don't. I'd be very surprised if David De Gea ended up being an Arsenal goalkeeper. I'd be very surprised. For him, yes, he's been a Man United goalkeeper for a long time, but I don't think it'd be like, no, I don't want to join Arsenal or join Man City. No, I feel like he would join those teams if he got an opportunity for 1 year or 2 years. But in terms of kicking, the way we play our football from the back and all that, Ramsdale made a few mistakes last season, and that is one of the main reasons he's not playing for Arsenal right now. So does it make sense getting David De Gea in terms of bringing him to Arsenal, a goalkeeper who cannot kick the ball? It doesn't really make sense. It does not really make sense at all. That's like getting rid of a Saliba or someone, and let's say getting rid of Ben White and Zinchenko and all those guys, and bringing in another fullback who cannot invert and he cannot do all that, unless Attack completely changes his style of play, which he won't. I don't think it's going to happen. It would be, would you guys take David De Gea to Arsenal? As I said, very good goalkeeper in terms of shot stopping. I think he won like best Man United player like maybe 5 or 6 times over that 10-year period. He was very, very good. And in terms of the best Premier League players, he was definitely up there. He saved Man United a lot of times. But in terms of the kicking and all that, he would not fit in the Arsenal team. The way he played from the back, he would not fit at all. So it would be very surprising if David De Gea joined Arsenal. But let me know. Maybe you have a different opinion. Would you take David De Gea to Arsenal? Do you think it's worth it, or do you feel like we need to go try and convince Ramsdale to stay on as our second goalkeeper, which will be very hard? Or do you think we need to go for a completely like second choice goalkeeper, from even whether he's unheard of or whatever? What would you do? So that's the latest on David De Gea. Interesting news on that. Interesting development on that. So next up, let's talk about Emile Smith Rowe. So obviously, Emile Smith Rowe played against. I was very, very happy. He started against Luton the other day. I think he also started some games last year. Was it against Sheffield and stuff? He played really well, especially in that first half. He was very, very good. He won the ball back fast for the first goal, and I still don't understand how people don't see that stuff like that, stuff like that. Why would you like tell me? I saw people saying like, yeah, I didn't really do anything. Yeah, the assist. Yeah, the first goal is done. Nah, Havertz got the assist, Odegaard scored the goal. But that doesn't happen without Smith Rowe pressing in midfield and taking the ball away from the defender. It doesn't happen. Like that is the one of the most important things. I seriously need to clear my throat, right? Sorry about that. I literally just ate. Literally, he took the ball from the midfielder and got the ball and put us on the attack. That is the one of the main things you need to do in the Arsenal team. Pressing, pressing, pressing. When people say Havertz doesn't do anything on the pitch, I look at the pressing. Did he do that right? Did he win the ball for us a couple of times? What happens after winning the ball back? Obviously, a different situation. If Smith Rowe got the ball back and then put it out and tried to pass to maybe an Odegaard or Havertz and put out of the pitch and stuff, you obviously look at that. But the pressing is very important because it was approaching the 30th minute. 0-0. You never know what would have happened if you got to halftime and all that. What would have happened? You need to realize that is very, very important to the Arsenal team, especially like a player who's going to press and win the ball back for us. There's no one who's better than Odegaard in terms of pressing, but if Smith wants to be part of this team, he needs to do that more often, and he did that. He did that very, very well. And on the second goal, he made a very good run on the left side. When he made that run on the left side, it definitely reminded me of the 2021-2022 Smith Rowe, and he used to play on the left side and Saka on the right side, and he created that song for them. They were both contributing to the team. He got the assist for the second goal as well, so he helped us get both of those goals. Second half was quiet for everyone, but maybe that isn't at the instruction in terms of just not or the players deciding, listen, there's no need to waste our energy. We have tough games coming up. And by the 70th, 75th minute, it was looking like Smith Rowe was very, very tired. Obviously, hasn't played for a long time. And still help us win that game. So this is what it had to say about Emile Smith Rowe. Yes, I look at him. So he was asked whether Smith Rowe is on his plans. He said yes. I look at him and what happened in the last 2 seasons, especially with him. What happened 3 seasons ago as well. Take all that is the best thing that could have happened for him in his career if he uses it in the right way now. So don't look back. Okay, let me read that again. Take all that is the best thing that could have happened for him in his career if he uses it in the right way now. So don't look back and say, if no, this happened, use it. That was the best thing that could have happened. So basically saying there's no need of talking about the injuries that he's had the last couple of years. That is now past. He's still a very, very young player. Still has a very, very bright future. And he obviously mentioned 3 seasons ago as well when Smith was really, really good in the 2021 season. He helped us a lot in that campaign. So I think that is one of the reasons why many of us are still looking at him like still wanting to stay because of the Helen thing and all that. And he really had a very, very good season with us in 2021, 2022. And maybe that is something that Nelson and Nketiah really don't have on Smith Rowe, because yes, they have moments. I'll never forget like Nketiah's last minute goal against Man United, his 2 goals against Chelsea. Those are very, very good moments. He scored our opening goal this season against Nottingham. Nelson, the biggest moment probably over the last 10 years for us, scoring that last minute goal against Bournemouth, coming on against Southampton and helping us get 2 goals later on in that game. All that is great. But can he really like pick like 5 to 10 games in a row where you're like, wow, like Nketiah has been incredible or Nelson has been incredible? Or even a whole season, you'll really be struggling to find a whole season. For Smith Rowe, he had an entire season where he was really, really good, and that has lived on with the Arsenal fans, obviously. And since then, he's picked up a lot of injuries, and it's been sad to see. Obviously, we'd want him to stay in the team, and there was a time he was being picked for England alongside Saka and Ramsdale, and right now, obviously, he's nowhere near the England squad because he's not been playing. He's had a lot of injuries and stuff. So I'm hoping he does contribute more to the next 2 months as well. And if he does, listen, you keep yourself injury free hopefully. There's a chance he can stay, and I'd be very, very happy if he stays and helps us next season. He's a player who's very versatile as well. He can play the Odegaard role if he's given a chance. He can play on the left side. He can play the number 8 role as well. Just needs to stay fit and keep on putting performances like that. We'll be very happy. Even if it just means coming on for Odegaard for 30 minutes and allowing Odegaard to rest, that would really help us. So that is what I had to say about Smith Rowe. Speaking of the Smith Rowe and Saka song, Saka is the next player we are going to be talking about. And He's obviously missed the game again. He was subbed off against Man City, and he missed the game against Luton the other day. So will he make it for the next game against Brighton? And what's the situation ahead of the Bayern Munich game as well? So this is what I had to say. We will know. We will have a training session in a few hours, and we will know if he is fit or not. So it's still not 100% guaranteed that Saka will make it against Brighton. As I told you guys in the preview yesterday, if you haven't checked it out yet, I rewatched the game that we played against Brighton at home in December. And in that game, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, they were absolutely incredible. They kept on running to the defenders, and Brighton were playing out from the back like they usually do. So Saka and Odegaard and Martinelli are winning a lot of the ball. And last season, the game we played against Brighton away from home, Saka scored. He was magnificent in that game. Martinelli was magnificent in that game, and same with Odegaard. So they've had, apart from the one we played against them at the end of last season, they've had 2 games out of 3 where they've played really well against Brighton, the 3 of them. So you'd want Saka in a game like that, and you want him to keep his fitness ahead of the Bayern Munich game and ahead of the Aston Villa game as well. But it's looking like there's a slight chance that he might not start. I think he'll make the squad. I'm not sure whether it's going to be starting or on the bench. That is what we need to wait for. He could end up being on the bench. I wouldn't mind. Listen, if you have him on the bench, we have options. We can have Jesus on the right side, Trossard on the left, Havertz up front. If he decides to play, maybe a Smith Rowe. Can we use Smith Rowe? It would be hard because Smith Rowe doesn't really play on the right side. You've never really seen him play on the right side. But is there a way you can move the squad around and fit in Jesus on the right side, for example, and try and play the game without Saka? If we win the game, great. Save Saka for the Bayern Munich game. Maybe give him 10 minutes in this one. Or if things go get a little bit harder, then you can bring in Saka like in the final 30 minutes or something. Let's see. But let me know. Would you guys do everything for Saka to start in this game, or would you be willing to just maybe even potentially tell Nelson to start another game and give him another chance? Let me know what you do with Bukayo Saka. So next up, let's get back into some more transfer news and Gyokeres. As always, I've been talking about him a lot. This is the latest on Gyokeres, according to Gyokeres and Sesko, according to Fabrizio Romano. Arsenal are currently focused on Viktor, Gyokeres, and Benjamin Sesko for the striker position. So that is our main focus, those 2 players. Gyokeres, obviously, we've talked about him a lot. He's been incredible in the Portuguese league, 50-plus goal contributions. He has almost 20 assists, almost 40 goals. He has been absolutely incredible. Like, for a player to contribute like that in terms of both goals and assists, that is crazy. And I feel like that is the kind of player is looking for, clearly, as Fabrizio said. I would have guessed, because I still don't feel like I would want like just a striker who's going to just score goals alone. I don't think he wants a player like that. I feel like he wants a player like a Jesus, someone who can play on the left side, right side, come back to midfield and take the ball and get involved in the play and win duels in midfield. He loves a duel. Get involved in the play with Odegaard, with Saka, with Martinelli. But still, when he gets a chance up front, he takes it. I think, yes, in terms of that clinicality, you can get a better striker than Ketia and Jesus. But he still wants him to do the things that Jesus does in terms of assisting and all that. And with him and Jesus in the team at the same time, or Jesus coming in for him or him coming in for Jesus, whichever game it is, that would be a great combination. So and we were told the other day that Gyokeres would cost around 68 million. So that's not a bad price at all. That is a signing that I'd absolutely like. And he's played in England before for Coventry in the Championship, so he's used to the England climate and everything already. So Gyokeres is a player that we're definitely going to be going for. And Benjamin Sesko is the other one, striker for Leipzig. Look, we are linked to him. Not many people are very sure about him. I haven't seen a lot of him. I've seen him playing for his country a couple of times and Leipzig a couple of times, but not overly convinced. Like, I've watched Gyokeres and Sesko almost the same number of times. Not too many times. I'd say maybe 10 times for both in total. It's not like really a lot of minutes for me to like judge, like, okay, this one and that one. Maybe there's some things I've missed with Sesko in a couple of games that I've not seen. But if you're to ask me right now, I'd still choose Gyokeres. But Sesko, I'm sure many of you don't really maybe know him that much in terms of scoring and all that, in terms of his overall play. Maybe some of you just don't want him at Arsenal because you prefer Gyokeres or an Alexander Isak or someone else, an Osimhen or something like that. But in terms of the age and all that, both of them fit into what we are trying to do in terms of age and all that. Zubimendi is also being talked about. This is the latest on him. Obviously, the Real Sociedad midfield, according to Fabrizio. From what I'm hearing, Mikel Arteta is still a big fan of Martin Zubimendi. He believes Zubimendi is a very talented midfielder and could be perfect for any club around the world. So Zubimendi remains one, not the only one on Arsenal's list. So we're still looking at Zubimendi. Our midfield and think striker situation is going to be very interesting. Defensively, I don't think we need to do a lot. Obviously, we know Cedric is going to leave. Tini will potentially be sold. Zinchenko, I want him to stay, but there's always a chance. Like maybe if Timber comes back, I'll be like, yeah, let's move him on. Or could he be moved to midfield? That is what I'd want to see, him being moved to midfield because he's really good going forward. It's very, very tough. But in terms of the summer transfer window, I feel like the midfield and the striker situation is going to be very interesting to see what we do because Jorginho hasn't signed a new contract yet. We still don't know about Partey. He talked the other day and said he likes Arsenal and he wants to stay. We don't know about him in terms of staying as well. El Neni will obviously move on. He'll be linked to players like Zubimendi. What are we going to do in terms of who's going to go and who's going to be brought in? Now, we know Declan Rice is going to be here. So will he be here with Partey, Jorginho, and Zubimendi? The chances of that happening is very slim unless like Rice moves to the number 8 position permanently or something. It's going to be interesting. But Zubimendi, we've talked about him a lot as well. Real Sociedad midfielder, number 6, predominantly. We are linked to him. So let's see how this one develops as well. Arteta clearly likes him a lot. So it's going to be very, very interesting in terms of the summer. But before the summer, we have a Premier League to win. And tomorrow, Brighton, obviously, join me for the match reaction right after that. It's going to be very, very interesting. Hopefully, we do win. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.